Commander Lisa Winters stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Horizon, watching the alien space station grow larger on the view screen. Her heartbeat quickened. This was humanity's first official meeting with the Galactic Hegemony, an empire that ruled over hundreds of star systems. "Final approach, Commander," said Lieutenant Steve Powell from the pilot's seat. "The Hegemony docking control has given us clearance." Lisa nodded, smoothing her blue uniform. "Remember, everyone, we're making history today." She looked at the small team that would accompany her: Captain Greg Mason, her second-in-command, Dr. Alice Brown, Earth's leading linguist, and Paul Garcia, the diplomatic advisor. The Horizon eased into the massive docking bay. Through the viewports, Lisa could see dozens of alien ships, all sleek and powerful. The Earth ship looked small and primitive by comparison. "They're certainly making a show of their military might," Greg whispered. The team walked down the exit ramp and into the station. 6 tall, blue-skinned aliens waited for them. Their leader stepped forward. "I am High Lord Zextral," he said in perfect English. "Welcome to the Galactic Hegemony Outpost." Lisa was surprised they already knew human language, but kept her face calm. "Thank you for this historic meeting. We bring greetings from Earth." The alien delegation led them through corridors filled with strange technology and other alien species who stared at the humans with curious or disgusted looks. Finally, they reached a large meeting hall where a table waited. High Lord Zextral sat at the head and gestured for the humans to sit. "Let us be direct," he said. "Our civilization has existed for over 30,000 years. We have catalogued all intelligent life in this sector. Your species was not considered worth contacting until recently." Lisa felt a chill at his cold tone, but kept smiling. "We're eager to learn from your advanced civilization and establish peaceful relations." The alien made a sound like laughter. "Peaceful relations with primitive mammals. Our scans show your technology is barely spaceworthy. You have only recently discovered faster-than-light travel." "We're young as a spacefaring species," Hall said, "but we're quick learners and—" "Silence," Zextral interrupted. "I did not give you permission to speak." He stood up and looked down at the humans. "The Hegemony Council has reached a decision about Earth. Your planet occupies a strategic position we wish to use. Your resources are valuable. Your species is not." Lisa stood up too. "We came here in peace. We're willing to trade and—" "There will be no trade," Zextral said. "Primitive species like yours are classified as pests. The Hegemony has a standard procedure for pest species." Dr. Brown gasped as she translated the alien symbols appearing on the wall screen. "Commander, they're declaring Earth a target for cleansing." Zextral nodded. "Your understanding is correct. The Armada will reach your world in 6 of your months. We only arranged this meeting to study your physical weaknesses." "This is an act of war," Lisa said, her voice steady despite her fear. "Wars are between equals," the alien replied. "This is pest control." He turned to his guards. "Take them. We need live specimens for the biology division." The alien guards raised their weapons. Greg reacted first, pulling his hidden backup pistol and firing at the ceiling. The energy blast shattered the light panels, plunging the room into darkness. "Run," he shouted, grabbing Lisa's arm. "Get back to the ship." Chaos erupted. Energy beams crisscrossed the room. Paul and Dr. Brown fell in the first volley. Lisa and Greg ran for the exit, dodging and weaving. A blast caught Lisa in the shoulder, spinning her around. Greg pulled her up, and they kept moving. Almost there, Greg gasped as they reached the docking bay. More aliens were closing in. "Get to the ship. I'll hold them off." "Not without you," Lisa argued. "Someone has to warn Earth." Greg pushed her toward the horizon. "Go." The last thing Lisa saw as the horizon's ramp closed was Greg falling under a wave of blue-skinned attackers. As Steve piloted the ship out of the docking bay, evading enemy fire, Lisa clutched her wounded shoulder. "Set course for Earth," she ordered, her voice hollow. "Maximum speed. We have to warn them. We have 6 months to prepare for the end of the world. The news of the failed diplomatic mission spread quickly across Earth. Panic followed. Riots broke out in major cities. Leaders argued about what to do. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to fight. Most just felt hopeless against an enemy that had ruled the stars for 30,000 years. Dr. Samantha Young watched the chaos on her lab screen, then turned it off. She had work to do. As Earth's top xenobiologist, she had studied the alien tissue samples collected from previous unofficial encounters. Now, with the samples from Commander Winter's wounded shoulder, she had direct contact with hegemony biology. "Dr. Young, you should see this," said her assistant, Eric. Samantha looked through the microscope. The alien cells were breaking down when exposed to human blood. "That's strange," she said. "Their cells can't handle the variety of our immune system." She ran more tests, working through the night. By morning, she had her answer. She called an emergency meeting with Earth defense leaders. "Humans have something unique in the galaxy," she told the grim-faced military officers and scientists gathered in the underground bunker. "We evolved on a planet of constant change, ice ages, warming periods, natural disasters. Most alien species evolved in stable environments." Commander Lisa Winters, her shoulders still bandaged, leaned forward. "What does that mean for us?" "It means we adapt faster than any species the hegemony has ever met," Samantha explained. "Our bodies, our minds, were built to overcome challenges. The hegemony has been stable for so long they've lost that ability." Across the base, in another lab, Chief Engineer Alan Russell was making his own discovery. He had been working with international teams to understand alien technology from crashed ships found over the years. Now, with the data from the horizon scans of the hegemony station, he had a breakthrough. Alan's hands shook with excitement as he assembled the small device. If he was right, this would change everything. "Try it now," he told his team. They activated the alien shield generator they had salvaged years ago. The purple energy field hummed to life. Then Alan pointed his new device at it and pressed the button. The shield flickered and died. "It works," shouted Karen, his lab partner. "How did you do it?" "Their shields use a fixed frequency pattern," Alan explained. "They've used the same technology for centuries without improving it. They never needed to because no one could beat them." He held up his device. "This sends out a counter frequency. It causes their shields to collapse." That afternoon, both teams presented their findings to General Richard Harris, head of Earth Defense. "So you're telling me," the general said slowly, "that these aliens who want to wipe us out aren't as unbeatable as they think?" "Exactly," Samantha said. "They're stuck in their ways. They haven't faced a real challenge in thousands of years. And we can take down their shields," Alan added. "Their biggest defensive advantage." Commander Winters spoke up. "They expect us to be easy targets. They don't know that humans are at their best when things look impossible." General Harris nodded. "We have 6 months to prepare. We need weapons, ships, and a strategy that uses our strengths against their weaknesses." "I might have an idea about that," said a new voice. Everyone turned to see Admiral William Carter standing in the doorway. The veteran space commander had come out of retirement when he heard the news. "The hegemony fights with massive fleets in standard formations," he said. "They haven't changed their tactics in centuries because they never needed to. But I've been studying old Earth military history, guerrilla warfare, asymmetric tactics, fighting smart when you're outnumbered." Commander Winters smiled for the first time since returning from the disastrous mission. "They expect us to fight conventionally and lose. We won't give them what they expect." "Exactly," Admiral Carter agreed. "They think humans are just pests to be exterminated. It's time to show them how dangerous a cornered species can be." As the meeting broke up, Samantha watched the military leaders huddle around star maps. For the first time since the news broke, she felt something new: hope. Humanity had faced extinction before, ice ages, plagues, world wars. Each time, they had adapted and survived. Now they faced their greatest challenge yet, and they would adapt again. Admiral William Carter stood before the giant screen in the war room. 50 military leaders from countries around the world watched as he outlined his plan. "We cannot win in a direct battle," he said plainly. "The hegemony has more ships, more weapons, and more soldiers than we could ever match in 6 months." "Then what hope do we have?" asked the Russian general. Admiral Carter smiled. "We fight differently. Throughout history, smaller forces have defeated larger ones by using speed, surprise, and unconventional tactics." He nodded to Lieutenant Olivia Patterson, who stepped forward. She was young for her rank, but her tactical mind was unmatched. "The hegemony fights in rigid formations," Olivia explained, bringing up the simulation on the screen. "Their ships move like this." The alien ships in the simulation arranged themselves in perfect geometric patterns. "They've used the same tactics for thousands of years because no one has ever beaten them." She pressed a button, and small blue dots appeared in the simulation. "These represent our ships, smaller, faster, and more maneuverable. Watch what happens when we don't meet them head-on." The blue dots darted between the alien formations, striking quickly and retreating. The perfect alien patterns broke apart as they tried to respond. "Confusion," Olivia said. "Their command structure doesn't handle unexpected situations well. They rely on plans set thousands of years ago. We will use that against them." A man in civilian clothes stood up from the back of the room. "That's great in theory, but what ships are we using? We have maybe 50 spacecraft that could fight, and most of those are just shuttles with guns strapped on." Admiral Carter nodded. "Everyone, this is Joe Martinez. The president asked him to join us. Joe, please show them." Joe walked to the front. He didn't look like a military man. His clothes were simple, and his hands were rough from work. He touched the screen, and a new image appeared. "This is the Wasp," Joe said. The screen showed a tiny ship, barely big enough for one person. "I've been building these in secret for 5 years, ever since we found that crashed alien scout ship in Arizona." "They're so small," someone commented. "That's the point," Joe replied. "They're fast, nearly impossible to track, and can slip through the gaps in enemy shields. Each one carries enough explosives to cripple a ship 10 times its size if it hits the right spot." Commander Lisa Winters studied the design. "How many do you have?" 300 ready now," Joe said. "With global manufacturing help, we can make 3,000 in 6 months." Olivia stepped forward again. "Our simulation shows that even with superior numbers, the hegemony won't be able to track and target our wasps effectively. Their weapons are designed to hit large ships, not small, fast targets." Admiral Carter took over. "We also have another advantage. Dr. Young's research shows that humans adapt faster under pressure than any species the hegemony has encountered. Our pilots will improve and adjust during battle. Theirs will stick to their training, no matter what happens." The room was quiet as everyone considered the plan. It wasn't perfect. Many would die. But it gave Earth a chance. "There's one more thing," Admiral Carter said. "The hegemony expects us to defend Earth directly. We won't. We'll meet their advance force near Jupiter." A general stood up. "You want to give up our home position?" "I want to surprise them," Carter replied. "Commander Cooper's squadron will hide in Jupiter's atmosphere. When the hegemony arrives, expecting to find nothing until they reach Earth, Cooper will attack from behind." Commander Ryan Cooper stood up. He was young, but had the most experience flying in gas-giant atmospheres. "My pilots can do it, sir." The meeting continued for hours as they refined the plan. It wasn't just about the military strategy. Every factory on Earth would build ships and weapons. Every pilot would train day and night. Scientists would work to understand alien technology better. As people left the meeting, Lisa saw something she hadn't seen since returning from space. Determination instead of fear. Humans had always been at their best with their backs against the wall. The hegemony was coming to exterminate a pest. Instead, they would meet humanity's full fury. 5 months passed quickly. Earth changed in ways no one could have imagined. Old enemies became allies against a common threat. Every factory worked day and night making ships and weapons. Children practiced emergency drills. Adults trained with whatever skills they had to offer. Commander Ryan Cooper floated in the cockpit of his ship, hidden deep in Jupiter's swirling clouds. Beside him, 20 other ships waited silently. For 3 weeks, they had practiced flying in the gas giant's dangerous atmosphere. Many had died in training accidents, but those who survived were now the best pilots in the solar system. "Status report," Ryan said quietly into his radio. "All ships ready," came the reply. "Enemy still hasn't detected us." Ryan checked his oxygen levels. The waiting was the hardest part. Their sensors had detected the Hegemony Advance fleet entering the solar system 2 days ago. Soon, the aliens would pass by Jupiter on their way to Earth. "Remember," Ryan told his team, "we only get one chance at surprise. Make it count." Hours passed. Warning lights flashed on Ryan's console. "They're here," he said. "Battle positions." Above Jupiter's cloud tops, 50 hegemony warships moved in perfect formation. They were massive, each one bigger than the largest ships humans had ever built. Their hulls gleamed with strange metals, and powerful weapons extended from their sides. On the lead ship, Fleet Commander Drakner watched Jupiter pass by on his view screen. "Primitive system," he said to his second-in-command. "One inhabited planet with basic technology. This will be over quickly." "Sir," an officer called out, "our sensors detect something strange in the planet's atmosphere." Drakner frowned. "Probably just storms. This gas giant has many." "No, sir. These readings show metal. Artificial structures." Before Drakner could respond, the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared. "We're under attack," shouted his officer. "Impossible," Drakner said. "There are no defenses in this part of the system." 21 human ships burst out of Jupiter's clouds, engines burning hot. They were tiny compared to the hegemony vessels, but they moved with incredible speed. Ryan led the charge, targeting the largest alien ship. "Now," he ordered. Every human ship fired at once. Alan Russell's shield-disrupting technology worked perfectly. The alien ship's protective barriers flickered and failed. Human missiles struck their hulls directly. "Break formation," Ryan called. "Hit and run, just like we practiced." The human ships scattered, each targeting a different alien vessel. They darted in, fired, and retreated before the hegemony ships could respond. On his flagship, Drakner shouted orders. "Full defensive positions. Return fire." But his gunners couldn't lock onto the small, fast-moving human ships. The hegemony fleet's perfect formation crumbled as ships tried to protect themselves. "Sir," his officer reported, 3 ships destroyed, 5 more heavily damaged." "Impossible." Drakner slammed his fist down. "They're primitives. How are they penetrating our shields?" Ryan's ship took a glancing hit from an alien weapon. Warning lights flashed in his cockpit, but he pushed on. "Squad 3, target their engines. Squad 2, take out their weapon arrays." The battle raged for hours. Human ships darted between the massive alien vessels like angry wasps. 7 human ships were destroyed, but they took down 12 hegemony warships and damaged many more. Finally, Drakner made a decision. "Retreat. We must regroup and inform the Emperor." The remaining hegemony ships turned and accelerated away from Jupiter. In his damaged ship, Ryan watched them go. His hands shook from adrenaline and exhaustion. "Did we just win?" he asked in disbelief. "Confirmed," came the reply from one of his pilots. "They're running." Ryan opened a channel to Earth. "Earth Command, this is Jupiter Squadron. The enemy advance force is retreating. I repeat, the enemy is retreating. We've won the first battle." Cheers erupted across the radio. On Earth, people hugged and cried when they heard the news. The unbeatable hegemony had been defeated for the first time in their 30,000-year history. But Ryan knew better than to celebrate too much. Intercept their communications, he ordered his team. We need to know what they're telling their main fleet. The translated alien message was brief but clear. Encountered unexpected resistance. Humans have advanced technology and unusual tactics. Request full Armada acceleration. These primitives are more dangerous than anticipated. In orbit around Earth, Commander Lisa Winters read the intercepted message and smiled grimly. They're afraid, she said. Good. But now, they'll come with everything they have. 1 month after the Jupiter victory, Earth's orbital space filled with thousands of human ships. Some were military vessels, but most were converted civilian craft. Cargo haulers fitted with weapons, passenger shuttles transformed into troop carriers, even private space yachts now carrying missile launchers. Admiral Patricia Ellis stood on the bridge of her flagship, the EDF Defiance. Through the viewports, she could see Earth below, beautiful and blue. She had sworn to protect it or die trying. Admiral, her communications officer called. We're detecting multiple warp signatures at the edge of the solar system. It's them. Patricia nodded. This was it. Alert all ships. Battle stations. The Hegemony Armada appeared like a dark cloud against the stars. There were thousands of ships, far more than anyone had expected. At their center was a vessel that dwarfed all others, a massive warship 30 miles long that the humans had named the Emperor's Fist. On Earth, people looked up as the sky darkened. The alien ships were so numerous they'd blocked the sun in some areas, casting eerie shadows across cities and fields. My God, Patricia whispered, there are so many. Admiral, her tactical officer reported, they're broadcasting a message on all frequencies. The main screen lit up, showing a regal-looking alien with elaborate armor and a crown-like headpiece. I am Supreme Lord Calvex, Emperor of the Galactic Hegemony, he said. Your resistance at Jupiter was impressive but futile. Surrender now, and we will make your extinction painless. Patricia straightened her uniform and faced the camera. This is Admiral Patricia Ellis of Earth. We will not surrender. This is our home, and we will defend it. The alien emperor's expression didn't change. Then you will die. All ships, begin the attack. The Hegemony fleet surged forward, weapons charging. Patricia turned to her crew. Activate Ben's system. Now. Chief Science Officer Ben Howard had worked day and night since the Jupiter battle. Using reverse-engineered alien technology, he had created something the Hegemony had never seen before. Satellite network online, Ben reported from his control station. Wormhole generators activating. Around Earth, hundreds of small satellites glowed with strange energy. Suddenly, the space around the planet seemed to fold. Small tears appeared in the fabric of space itself. Attack pattern Delta, Patricia ordered. Human ships rushed toward the wormholes and vanished. Moments later, they reappeared behind and inside the Hegemony fleet formations. The perfect alien battle lines broke apart in confusion. They're inside our defensive grid, shouted a Hegemony commander. How did they get past our front lines? The smaller, faster human ships darted through the alien formation, firing at weak points and engine sections. Joe Martinez's WASP fighters proved especially deadly. Pilot Kelly Rodriguez led a squadron of 30 WASPs directly into the heart of the enemy fleet, targeting the massive flagship. Stay on target, Kelly told her pilots as they weaved through enemy fire. Remember your training. Her WASP fighters slipped through a gap in the Emperor's Fist shields and fired directly into an engine port. The explosion rippled along the massive ship's hull. 6 more WASPs followed her lead, each hitting a critical system. On the Defiance, Patricia watched the battle unfold. The humans were taking heavy losses, hundreds of ships destroyed in the first hour alone. But the Hegemony was losing too. Their rigid tactics couldn't adapt to the humans' unconventional approach. Admiral, her tactical officer called, The Emperor's fist is damaged but still operational. Their fleet is regrouping. Patricia nodded. Time for Phase 2. Contact Major Douglas. Major Frank Douglas and his Special Forces team had been waiting for this moment. Their small stealth ship approached the damaged flagship, using the chaos of battle as cover. Ready your gear, Frank told his team. We're boarding in 5 minutes. On his throne in the command center of the Emperor's fist, Emperor Calvex watched in growing rage as his perfect fleet struggled against the human ships. Impossible, he muttered. They are nothing. Primitives. How are they doing this? His fleet commander, Vriltok, approached with caution. My Emperor, the humans are using technology we've never seen. They create small wormholes to move their ships. And they found a way to disrupt our shields. I don't want excuses, Calvex shouted. I want them destroyed. Send in everything we have. Neither of them noticed the small human ship attaching itself to the hull of their massive vessel, or the team of soldiers cutting their way inside. Major Frank Douglas led his team through the narrow maintenance tunnels of the Emperor's fist. Their specially designed armor, based on recovered alien technology, masked their life signs from hegemony sensors. The massive alien ship rumbled and shook as battles raged outside. Stay tight, Frank whispered to his 12 soldiers. Remember the layout. We need to reach the command center. They moved quietly, passing alien crew members who rushed to battle stations without noticing the humans. Years of studying alien language and technology had prepared them for this mission. Each soldier carried weapons designed to work against hegemony armor and shields. Outside, the space battle reached new levels of intensity. Admiral Patricia Ellis directed the human fleet from the Defiance, watching as the wormhole network gave their ships unprecedented mobility. Squad 7 needs backup near Saturn's rings, her tactical officer reported. Send the Orion group, Patricia ordered, and tell Kelly to pull her wasps back from Sector 4. The hegemony is adapting to their attack pattern. On her wasp fighter, Kelly Rodriguez received the order. Copy that. Defiance. Wasps pulling back. She had already destroyed 7 hegemony vessels, earning her the nickname Wasp Queen among the pilots. As her squadron retreated, a hegemony battle cruiser followed, falling into the trap. 3 human destroyers emerged from a wormhole directly in its path, all firing at once. The alien ship exploded in a ball of blue fire. Inside the Emperor's fist, Frank's team reached a major junction. Ahead of them stretched a wide corridor leading to the command levels, but it was filled with alien guards. We can't go around, Frank told his team. We go through. Shields up, weapons hot. The humans activated their energy shields and charged forward. The alien guards shouted in alarm and opened fire. Energy beams bounced off the human shields. Frank fired his weapon, designed by Alan Russell to bypass hegemony armor. The alien guard dropped. The corridor became a chaotic battlefield. 3 humans fell to concentrated enemy fire, but the rest pushed forward, using tactics the aliens had never seen before. They worked in pairs, one drawing fire while the other attacked from different angles. They're not used to close combat, Frank realized. They rely too much on their technology. Finally, they reached the command level. Behind a massive door lay the ship's bridge and Emperor Calvex himself. Breach charges, Frank ordered. His demolition expert placed small devices around the doorframe. Fire in the hole. The explosion ripped the door from its frame. Through the smoke, Frank's team stormed onto the bridge. Alien officers reached for weapons but were too slow. Nobody move, Frank shouted, his weapon aimed at the elaborate throne in the center of the room. Emperor Calvex stood in shock. His personal guards moved to protect him, but the human weapons cut them down quickly. Impossible, the Emperor said. How did you get here? How did primitives board my ship? Frank didn't answer. Instead, he pointed to the alien wearing a military uniform covered in medals. That's Fleet Commander Vriltok. He's our primary target. 2 soldiers grabbed the commander, who struggled briefly before a stun weapon subdued him. "You can't do this," Emperor Calvex shouted. "I am the supreme ruler of the galactic hegemony." Frank finally looked at him. "You should have left us alone." Outside, the battle had turned decisively in Earth's favor. Without central command from the Emperor's fist, the hegemony fleet fell into disarray. Human ships pressed the advantage, destroying or disabling hundreds of alien vessels. Admiral Patricia Ellis received the coded message from Frank's team. "Package secured." She opened a channel to all human ships. "This is Admiral Ellis. The boarding party has captured Fleet Commander Vriltok. Push forward. Don't let a single enemy ship escape the solar system." Human vessels surged forward, now hunting rather than defending. The remaining hegemony ships began to retreat, breaking formation and fleeing in all directions. On the bridge of the Defiance, Patricia watched the enemy retreat. She had been prepared to die today protecting Earth. Instead, she had witnessed the impossible. Humans had not only survived, but were winning against the greatest empire in the galaxy. "Send word to Earth," she told her communications officer. "Tell them we've turned the tide. And tell Commander Winters to prepare for interrogation. We've got the highest-ranking military officer in the hegemony, and he's going to tell us everything." Fleet Commander Vriltok sat in the secure room deep beneath the United Nations building in New York. His blue skin looked pale under the bright lights. Across the table, Commander Lisa Winters studied the alien carefully. "Why did you attack us?" Lisa asked. "The truth." The alien remained silent. He had not spoken a word since his capture 3 days ago. "We can do this for weeks," Lisa said calmly. "Your fleet is destroyed or scattered. Your emperor is in retreat. You have nothing to gain by staying silent." Vriltok finally looked up. "You should not have won," he said. "It was impossible." "Yet here we are," Lisa replied. "Why did the hegemony target Earth? We posed no threat to you." The alien commander was quiet for a long moment. "You are wrong," he finally said. "You posed the greatest threat we have ever faced." In another room, watched through a one-way mirror, Earth's leaders listened carefully. This was the first real insight into the hegemony's thinking. "Explain," Lisa prompted. "For 30,000 years, the hegemony has ruled without challenge," Vriltok said. "We encountered thousands of species. Some fought briefly before accepting our rule. Most surrendered immediately. And you expected us to do the same." The alien made a sound like bitter laughter. "No. Our predictive models showed something different for humans, something we had never seen before." Lisa leaned forward. "What did they show?" "If left alone for just 200 years, humans would not only match our technology but surpass it. In 500 years, you would dominate the galaxy. Your species adapts and innovates at a rate that is." He paused, searching for the word. "Frightening." Behind the mirror, the Earth leaders exchanged shocked looks. "So you attacked us because of what we might become?" Lisa asked. Vriltok nodded. "The Supreme Council voted unanimously. Earth had to be destroyed before you could reach your potential. You were not classified as pests because you were inferior. You were classified that way because you were dangerous." Meanwhile, across the city, Dr. Kevin Mitchell worked with a team of scientists examining captured hegemony technology. For weeks, they had been taking apart alien devices, studying their function and design. "This can't be right," Kevin said, looking at his test results again. His assistant looked up. "What is it?" Kevin pointed to the alien power core they had been studying. "This technology. It's not as advanced as we thought. It's efficient, yes, but the basic principles are things we already understand. But their ships, their weapons, are impressive because they've been refining the same technology for thousands of years," Kevin explained. "But they haven't truly innovated. Look at this." He pointed to his computer screen showing analysis of hegemony circuits. "Their computer systems are actually less advanced than ours in some ways. They're just more refined." Across the lab, Other scientists were making similar discoveries. The aliens' supposedly advanced medical technology was based on principles humans had already discovered. Their communication systems used concepts Earth scientists had theorized about but hadn't yet implemented. They stopped inventing, Kevin realized. They reached a certain level of technology and just stopped pushing forward. Back in the interrogation room, Vriltok was explaining the same thing to Lisa. The hegemony reached technological perfection 10,000 years ago, he said. Since then, we have focused on stability, not change. Our society does not value innovation. We value order. While humans constantly push boundaries, Lisa said, understanding now. Exactly. Your history is chaos. Wars, disasters, constant upheaval. But from that chaos comes incredible adaptation and growth. Our predictive models showed that within one human lifetime, you would begin to challenge us. He leaned forward, his alien eyes fixing on Lisa's. What the models did not predict was that you would defeat us so quickly. This was unexpected. In the observation room, Admiral William Carter turned to the President of the United States. Now we know why they were so afraid of us. They saw our potential. The President nodded. The question is, what do we do now? Push our advantage and attack their empire, or offer peace? Carter looked through the glass at Vriltok. I think I know what would frighten them more than any weapon we could build. 6 months after the Battle of Earth, a single human ship traveled through space toward Salforos, the capital world of the galactic hegemony. The ship was not a warship. It carried no weapons. It was a diplomatic vessel named Unity, chosen specifically for this historic mission. Ambassador Diana Scott stood on the bridge, watching the alien planet grow larger on the view screen. She felt the weight of her responsibility. The future of humanity and the entire galaxy would be shaped by what happened today. We're receiving a transmission from the surface, her communications officer said. The screen changed to show an alien face, not the Emperor, but a nervous-looking official. Human vessel, you are cleared to land at the Imperial Plaza. An escort will meet you. Diana nodded. Thank you. We come in peace. The Unity descended through the alien atmosphere. Diana looked out the window at the vast alien city stretching to the horizon. Massive buildings rose into the sky, all perfectly ordered and symmetrical. Nothing was chaotic or unplanned. It's beautiful, she said, but there's no creativity. Every building follows the same pattern. The ship landed in a large plaza. Outside, thousands of aliens had gathered to see the humans who had done the impossible, defeated the undefeatable hegemony. Diana led her small team down the ramp. They wore no armor, carried no weapons. Behind them walked Fleet Commander Vriltok, who had agreed to help negotiate peace. Earth had treated him well during his captivity, and he had come to respect humans, even if he still feared what they might become. The party was led through magnificent halls to the Imperial throne room. Supreme Emperor Calvex sat on his throne, looking much less confident than when he had threatened Earth months before. Reports from across the hegemony told of worlds in rebellion, inspired by Earth's victory. The once mighty empire was crumbling. Ambassador Scott, the Emperor said, his voice cold. You have come to dictate terms. Diana stepped forward. No, Your Majesty. I've come to propose peace. The Emperor looked surprised. Peace? After we tried to destroy your world? Your ships could be attacking our planets right now. Instead you come alone, unarmed. War is not our goal, Diana said. Earth wants to join the galactic community, not rule it. She handed a data tablet to Vriltok, who reviewed it and passed it to the Emperor. These are the human terms, Vriltok explained. They are most unusual. The Emperor read silently, his expression changing from suspicion to confusion. This can't be right, he finally said. You don't demand our surrender. No territories, no resources. Diana smiled. What we want is cooperation. A new galactic council where all species have equal representation. free exchange of ideas and technology, open borders for trade and cultural exchange. But this would end the hegemony as it has existed for 30,000 years. The emperor protested. Yes, Diana agreed, but it would begin something better. Your empire is already falling apart. You can fight to keep control and lose everything, or help build a new galactic community and keep your world and your people safe. The emperor was silent for a long time. Finally, he stood. I never expected to face this choice, he said quietly. The hegemony has always ruled through strength. But perhaps there is wisdom in your approach. He stepped down from his throne and approached Diana. I accept your terms, Ambassador. The war is over. 1 year later, Lisa Winters, now Admiral Winters, stood on the bridge of her new ship, the Explorer. Around her, a crew of humans and aliens worked together, preparing for their mission beyond the old borders of the hegemony. Admiral, her alien first officer said, all systems are ready. The new wormhole drive is online. Lisa nodded. Thank you, Sub-Commander. She looked at the view screen showing dozens of other ships, a mixed fleet of human and former hegemony vessels, all modified with new technology developed through cooperation. All ships report ready, Admiral, her communications officer said. The Galactic Council has given final approval for the expedition. Lisa smiled. 6 months of war had nearly destroyed humanity. 1 year of peace had taken them further than anyone could have imagined. Former enemies now worked side by side. Humans taught hegemony engineers about innovation while learning about stable governance from the aliens. Signal all ships, Lisa ordered. Begin jump sequence. As the stars on the view screen stretched and blurred, Lisa thought about how far they had come. The hegemony had attacked Earth fearing what humans might become. Now, working together, all species would discover what they could achieve, not through conquest, but through cooperation, not through force, but through understanding. The real victory hadn't been on the battlefield. It had been in the peace that followed.